Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2017. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin was down 2.69% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 3,896, a high of 4,013, and a low of 3,708. The price of Bcash was up 10% to a last of $677.65. Our top story today, Bitcoin's battle over Segwit 2x has begun. For those of you who are not aware, the New York agreement said that in November, they should fork to 2 megabyte blocks. Many of the core developers, in fact, all of the core developers, disagree with this move. The spam transactions have stopped. There is no reason for a 2x hard fork, except, of course, they signed the agreement. Part of this anger is over BitPay's decision to launch a new blog post saying that users should upgrade. However, BitPay said that the user should upgrade to BTC1, the 2x hard fork, while conflating the language, using the language of Bitcore to say they should upgrade. This is why people were upset. Coinbase doesn't seem to understand this and says that they only said download BTC1. The problem is not that they said download BTC1. The problem that they said upgrade your core node to BTC1. It's a confusion issue. We've also got the first defector, Bitwala's statement on Segwit 2x. Bitwala, the wallet provider, has decided to back off from the 2x agreement. They will not join, even though they have signed. They say that their customers do not want 2x. They do not want Bitcoin 3. And as I was going to say earlier, before we had tons of technical difficulties and I forgot all the clever things I was going to say, the Constitution is not a suicide pact. The New York Agreement is not a suicide pact. Just because you have signed something is not a good enough reason to do it. There has to be a technical reason, and there's no technical reason for the 2x hard fork. Bitcoin is not going away. Forks are FUD projects, says Oleg Andrew on Twitter. And this is a great point that Bitcoin is the Bitcoin. And going back to the 2x hard fork, if a group of CEOs can simply get together and unilaterally change Bitcoin, that means a government could. And hence, Bitcoin is dead. But we'll see what happens as this fight continues over the next few months. Meanwhile, Freewallet launched the first ever Bitcoin Cash wallet for iOS, although they still have this confusion over the symbol as it says BCC in the icon. That's so confusing. And CoinDesk is telling us to never miss a story. But meanwhile, Take Two, Bitcoin miner BTCS announces a merger. They're merging with Spondoolies. They tried it last time but weren't able to, and now they're trying to merge again. This is still a very small candle versus the flame that is Bitmain. And finally, the IRS is using special software to find tax cheats. They don't have it. They've licensed with Chainalysis. Chainalysis will help the IRS locate those who have large amounts of Bitcoin and haven't paid their taxes. As we reported earlier, the IRS has adjusted their CoinDesk lawsuit and is now only going after customers who had more than $20,000 in Bitcoin. We're out of stories, which is great. We're going to go over to Jimmy Song for a check of Bitcoin scaling. Apologies for the technical difficulties this morning. We don't know what's going on. Nothing has changed on my end. I tried 3 different laptops, a Chromebook, and 2 MacBooks. We believe that Google is updating their Hangout software. I was unable to hear people, and now I can only hear people because I'm plugged in through my cell phone. I know it's frustrating for me, but I'm sorry about that. Let's go to Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No worries, Thomas. First of all, Bitcoin Cash has accelerated their block finding very quickly. A lot of pools have come on to Bitcoin Cash, F2 pool, BTC.top, BTC.com, BAT pool, and pool, obviously. So there's a lot of hashing power going over. If you go to fork.lol, you can see a lot of different statistics, but it does look like something like 40% of all available SHA-256 hash power is currently mining Bitcoin Cash. That's not going to last forever, though, and because price has gone down and stuff like that, and because they're finding blocks so fast, in about 160 blocks, or about roughly an hour and a half or to 3 hours, something like that, we're going to see block 488 1824, and that is going to be the block at which they will difficulty adjust again. And it's expected to quadruple or something to that effect. It's going to be massively less profitable to mine Bitcoin Cash than it is now. And that means that a lot of that hashing power should come over to Bitcoin. The effect on Bitcoin has been that Segwit has been delayed a few days. It was originally projected to be around August 20th. It's now projected to be around August 24th. We'll be watching that very closely. But this is obviously having an effect, and there's something called the chain hopping attack that may be in play here, where a large segment of miners sort of collude to go from one chain to the other based on whatever is more profitable. And that may be the case, and that's something to watch out about. I am also debuting my new show, Off Chain with Jimmy Song. My first guest is going to be Daniel Kraywitz, and we're going to have that in roughly 10 hours from now. So that's something to look forward to. Hope to see you guys here on the World Crypto Network to watch that show.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. And we are hearing in the chat that other people have had similar problems with Google Hangouts. So there may be a system-wide update going on. At one point when I joined, I saw the Q&A button had returned, which I was excited for, but unfortunately it looks like they broke almost everything else. We're also joined by Tone Vase. Go ahead, Tone.
Hey guys, I hope you can hear me okay. I'm at another blockchain event here in New York, and it's lunchtime, so it's just getting really loud around here. So I hope everything's coming through. All right, so I've spent the last like 24 to 48 hours on airplanes and traveling. I have not had a lot of time to look into the details of the price. I am noticing that the price of Bitcoin has dropped down to as low as about 3,800 bucks. Right now, we're hovering around 3,900. At the same time, Bitcoin Cash had also dropped in price. So this, for starters, this goes to show that Bitcoin is still the gorilla in the room, and everything else will follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops, so will Bcash. If Bitcoin goes up, Bcash might go up. Now, it's interesting that 40% of the mining power has hopped over to Bcash. Now, I have not seen the headlines, but I can guarantee you this is coming with a lot of FUD. They are going to claim that mining Bcash with, one block every 2.5 minutes or one block every like 1.5 minutes, whatever the hell their rate is right now. They're going to say this is a good thing. It's not. And this goes to show you that miners aren't rational. On a panel in Toronto, I really enjoyed Johnny Dilly's comment when he said miners need to be as dumb as possible. They should not have any choices. They should just be processing transactions. They should not be choosing what transactions to process. They should not have any say in protocol development. And this goes to show you that Bitcoin really needs this structure. The Bitcoin core team is the only one that understands what it's doing. All these miners are coming over to Bcash. They have no clue what they're doing. All they know is that they get to make more Bitcoin. They get to make more real Bitcoin, not more Bitcoin Cash, because again, we're talking about the mining profitability of Bcash in terms of Bitcoin. This is all going to reverse. It's not going to end well. The New York agreement, we just had one defactor. I'm on record of saying most of them are going to defact. There is only so many, dumb CEOs out there that are going to stick to what they signed. Very few of them. I can't wait for the New York agreement to actually hard fork, because then they're going to steal all of the thunder from Bcash, and we're going to do this whole mess all over again in November. In the meantime, everyone keeps trying to attack Bitcoin, but hey, we're at near $4,000. The charts are still bullish on the weekly term, on the monthly term. The daily term isn't doing so great, but it should reverse in a couple of days. I think that the reversal back to the upside is imminent, and once Bcash gets its quadruple difficulty adjusting, those miners will leave, and it will only expose Bcash for like the scam fork that it is. I am happy I sold all my Bcash. I earned my 10%, and if you haven't done it, I mean, you can wait. You can try and wait for 30%, 40%, 50%, or you can be pissed that you didn't get anything. That's really up to you. I am very happy I got to multiply my Bitcoin by 1.1. I will never, ever, ever regret that decision.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Tone, for that report. We're running out of time here. We'd like to thank Brian in the chat. He says that Segwit 2x is a corporate takeover, and it's not going to happen. Bcash is for the miners, and Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin. Thanks, Brian, for that remark. And yeah, now that Bitwala has defected, it does show that you can change your mind. You don't have to run the New York agreement. So we're looking for other defectors. Let's try to talk to them. Let's try to get them on board. We are hearing in the chat other people had problems with Google Hangouts. That makes me feel better. But we're pretty tired here. It's been tough technical difficulties, but we figured it out. Thanks so much for everybody for your donations. We had a couple more $10 donations yesterday. That's great to have. And we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Google will fix the problems. Thank you so much for giving us a thumbs up and a share. Bye-bye.